Namaste, and welcome to our continuing series, Interviews with Aurovillians. Today we are honored to have Prem Shakti with us. Namaste. I will begin as I always begin, and asking how you first heard of Mother and Sri Aurobindo.
Well, I haven't heard about them. I was called by them. So I was living in Bombay, and I went to the music store, and out of all the CDs, I wanted to buy some spiritual mantras because I was a yoga teacher at that point. And the only CD that called me was the Mother's and Sri Aurobindo's mantra that is inside of Matrimandir. Anandamayi, Chaitanyamayi, yes. Satyamayi Parame. And that just kept playing. I just kept listening to that mantra, and it was just like calling my soul. And a year later, a friend of mine said, you have to go to Pondicherry in Auroville. They have this great Vatsu thing, and they have this Matrimandir. So my ex-partner, he gifted me a gift of coming to Auroville on my birthday. Oh. And that was such a beautiful gift.
And what year was that?
That was, I would say, 2007 maybe.
Ah.
So that was my first visit. And few years have passed, and Auroville again reminded itself, and I was pregnant. And that's when I met you. I was pregnant with my first daughter 13 years ago.
Yes. That's that long, yeah.
That is, yes. And we came to the Om choir, and that was just such an impression on my soul that, yes, this is the soul family. And then we went back to Goa, because by then we already lived in Goa and we were going to start the family in Goa. But there was just such a calling to go back to the community living. So it took us about another few years to wrap up our lives there, and again come and visit with our daughter that was little, and she felt like she was really gravitating to what is here, and we really listened to her calling and her needs, and we just followed. We let her to lead us, and we shifted here 10 years ago.
9?
When she was just 2.5.
Ah.
That was my second daughter, the first one that I was pregnant with when you and I met. That one died at the birth.
Yeah.
But she had her own journey, and her little connection. For her, that journey was enough, and she was very content. So that was my invisible thread, and then connection with the mother started to develop once I started to live in Auroville, and I speak to her, in the moments when I just really need more clarity and support, and she always provides. She always brings this reassurance that everything will be fine.
Do you go to the ashram from time to time?
Occasionally, but I'm more connected to the gardens of the Matrimandir, actually. My strongest connection is there. My pull is towards the nature and all the qualities over there.
Yes.
With the flowers, with the plants, with the energy grids.
So when did you finally come to permanently live in Auroville?
10 years ago.
10 years
Yes,
ago.
once the shift happened, yeah.
And now you have Hari and Soham.
Yes, I have two children. Soham was born here in Auroville.
Yes.
Yeah, and
I remember that period, yes, very well. So let's talk a little bit about your experiences in Auroville, because they must be quite varied, and I would like to hear.
Yeah. So I think the most beautiful period of my life is right now, actually. But I also had a very beautiful time when I was a newcomer and I was just working in the matrimandir. Actually, that was just so beautiful because my duty was around the petals initially, and I just remember like sitting under that big golden womb every day and just receiving the grace and feeling so much of blessing. And I had this beautiful moment because the soul of Soham was circling around me for many months, and it really was speaking to me, I want to come, I want to come. And it was irrational to have him because my husband at that time, he was very unwell. He actually lost his kidneys. He was on the dialysis, like his physical body didn't seem like, he can even have a child. But Soham's soul and our soul agreements were so clear that Soham will be coming and he will be part of our family system. So there was the moment I was on my duty in the petals, and I was just speaking to the mother and asking like, when is the right moment? And I was really feeling like now it's the right moment to conceive Soham. But there were all these doubts in the mind, and I said to her, if you feel like this is the right moment, just send me a message, and that message will be a person that really will warm up my heart, that will come towards my petal, and person that I know. Oh. And she has sent a woman called Savitri. And that woman actually studied yoga with me many years ago. So that was a very clear message. And Soham was conceived few weeks later, probably.
What work are you doing now in Oroville?
So right now I'm really dedicated to working on the foundations of human unity, which for me is the quality of relationships that we have in the family system, but specifically the quality of relationship between the men and women. Mm-hmm. As they are forming relationship consciously and maintaining and really going on the spiritual journey of marriage or spiritual commitment towards building unity together. And for me, working on the microcosm of the unity really puts very solid foundations for human unity, as we are here to experience in Oroville on a macro level. But for me, that divine union that happens is the foundation of life. If that union did not happen, me and you wouldn't be here today. So for me, it's just so crucial to bring the remembrance of how important that is, especially on this human plane, and to give it value, to give it support, to give it importance, and really, I'm right now receiving the messages from the universe, from the Akashic records, just waiting for the information to really arrive, and it keeps arriving. It just keeps landing on my door so beautifully every day about how to make that union more sacred, more integrated. So that's what I'm.
Can you share a little of other experiences that you've had
around in Oroville or
sure.
with
anywhere?
I feel right now the most beautiful experiences I'm actually having through my relationships, especially the relationships with my children right now, because I'm in the most close relationship, day-to-day relationship with them. So I'm just receiving so many messages from them, so many teachings, because I feel my children are very evolved souls. I did requests for evolved souls to come to me to teach me and to co-create. Yeah, when I was conceiving them, especially my last one, Soham, and Soham means I am that, I'm divine. And he knows that, and we all know that, and we all really value, his presence in our lineage, but also my daughter Pari, they have different qualities of teaching and sharing the knowledge with us, with the parents, and with whoever comes to interact with them. But their teachings are very profound, and I really want to be in the control of my ego to be able to hear, what they are transmitting to me and how they communicate, about how to build respect, how to build trust, how to build unity, how to build connections and fairness. So yeah, I'm just learning a lot from my relationships because I feel there is this.
We hear so much about these indigo children, and we see these 3-year-olds playing the piano and all these extra, a 10 or 11-year-old teaching college.
Yes.
So, do you feel your children are in some way much more advanced than we were?
I definitely do. I feel like now the old souls are returning because the evolution has speeded up. Like we don't have too much time also because the planet is kind of at the stage where there isn't much time. Environmentally, we need to evolve, we need to learn, we need to heal, we need to heal ourselves and the planet because the time is really clicking. Like we have already lost 80% of our coral reefs. Like the planet is kind of at the phase where we either quickly reverse it, and we really need these wise souls to come and bring changes and solutions. And the solutions also have to happen from within. Like the transformation has to happen within, the healing has to happen within and around us.
Have you met any of these children other than yours in Oroville?
I see them. Yeah, I do see them around. I feel the quality of their soul. I don't work much with the children, so I'm not meeting them unless they are friends of my children. So then we have some interactions, but I can sense there are lots of evolved souls around. Yes.
I see. Now, how do you see the future of Oroville progressing? I don't usually allow negative comments.
Yes.
So we can dispense with those.
Yes. I choose to focus only on positive because the negative the darkness is already visible enough and it already has enough power. So there's no need to empower it more and give it more attention. It's getting enough attention. But I feel what's most important right now is to empower the children because they are going to actually be the change makers mainly. Our generation can still bring a lot of education and support to the children, but ultimately they're going to lead the evolution and the transformation. So I feel really right now called to bring more educational tools that bring out the best qualities in those souls, that really support them to be more empathic, and also more collaborative and unity-oriented than competition-oriented, and just kind. Because I'm noticing we do have a lot of teachings to receive, but there is still a culture in our environment that often is brought from home, from society, that is bullying oriented, that is still working in domination system, that is still fear-based. And
do you find a lot of fear-based
yes,
experiences in Oroville?
yes,
I see.
yes, definitely. So yeah, I just feel called, like, supporting my generation through my work, relational work. Because I tend to work more with adults, so I support them with relationships as a spiritual practice, workshops, and skills for conscious communication and conflict resolution, and just being more aware. So we bridge the gap, because most of the people here in Oroville, at least, they are here because they soul has brought them here, and they have a lot of beautiful spiritual aspirations. And most of the people do come here with the good intentions. The intentions initially are good, but I feel the tools are lacking. The tools are lacking to fulfill these very noble goals. So I feel part of my responsibility is to bring in the tools and to soften, to bring an environment where people's hearts can open, and when they can really feel love and receive love and give love. So that's my contribution, and supporting loving relationships, supporting the roots of love and stability of relationships in a marriage. So I facilitate the spiritual marriages. And the fruits of our actions, the children, yeah, they are still very open to the environment they are interacting. And when there is a lot of conflict there, and usually what I'm noticing and what really makes me sad is that I've noticed that most of the families that arrive here, I also arrived as a family with my husband, with whom I'm not in the romantic relationship anymore, but I'm in a soulhood with him right now. Our relationship has really grown here into really deep, loving appreciation and soulful connection, and a family bond that is still very solid. It's just not in the same form as it was romantically. But I'm noticing that a lot of relationships and partnerships go through a lot of challenge here. In Oroville, particularly.
I didn't hear you.
I find that a lot of families who come to Oroville, they break. The relationships easily break, because the energy field here supports the individual progress and individualization process, but there isn't enough support yet for keeping the family united. The collective process, the relational processes. There have been attempts, but I feel we need to focus more on that, because most of the people do naturally work on their individualization, and they have lots of resources to meditate, to practice yoga, to really connect to themselves. But in a space of relational alignment and compassionate communication, or building relationships, building unity at the large level, we still have lots to grow.
Do you find others who are in sympathy with you?
I find other light workers that are working with me.
Yes.
We have a strong group of people who practice nonviolent communication in Oroville, and I have some colleagues who work with supporting the families with communication and like value-based practices. And but I feel it's a pioneering field right now. I feel like I'm one of the pioneers in that field, so we still need more.
Now, I'd like to go a little more deeply into this idea of marriage, which Mother said we shouldn't have in Oroville. We should have relations of love, but nothing with a certificate binding us. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, that's really interesting because just this morning I had a very powerful insight. I feel the way the marriage has been in the past centuries, it's been very transactional. It has been focused on really building legacy, especially financial legacy, and political affiliations.
Yes.
And it was a lot of like kind of arranged, mind-based contract, which did not really have enough of spiritual, soulful insight and intentions to really come together and do something meaningful for the society and let that. So I feel now in a new paradigm, something new is wanting to emerge, because as we can see, a lot of marriages are breaking. There are higher and higher rates of divorces everywhere in the world, and that's very evident that the old paradigm of the marriage is not working. And maybe that's what Mother is referring to, actually, because that's what has been known.
I believe so.
50 years ago. There wasn't any other type at that point. But right now, I feel like something new is being reborn, and there is a lot of shift now in the space of relationships, because the old type of relationships, romantic relationships as we know it, don't work any longer, because love and unity wasn't really
The
a basis of it. Therefore, they have to fail. That old contractive kind of just law-based, certificate-based type of marriage does not make much sense any longer. It becomes useful when people are from cross countries, and when they need to reside in one country, it's helpful to have stability, but it doesn't really fulfill the soul's longing. And ultimately, the soul's longing is the deep soulful connection and building the unity and building the foundations of happiness. So now the relationships are more happiness oriented, more unity oriented when they are conscious.
Sri Aurobindo has told us that cross-cultural connections are so important.
So important.
Race and...
Absolutely. And I feel, looking at Oroville, I personally feel, and looking at my personal life, because I started to travel 27 years ago. I left my country, Poland, and I lived in multiple countries, and I was in partnerships with different partners from different cultures, different religions, and that has really widened my perspective of life and oneness, because essentially in every religion we speak about oneness, but we just use different phrases and different names of God, but it all leads us to one, essentially. So I kind of, what I have integrated and what I really appreciate is actually when the cross-cultural union happens, then the children that come from that union, they are the bridge. Because my children, they can state that they're fully Polish, they fully belong to that culture, they understand the culture, they like the food, they belong there, but they also fully belong to India. So
and you've taught them Polish also?
Yes.
They speak, they understand?
Yes.
Very good.
So
you have that basis yet, and now they're in Oroville.
Yes. So now they are citizens of the world. They are actually bit detached from both cultures. I mean, they can very clearly, what's so beautiful for all of our children, they can clearly see what are the false parts of the cultures that they came from. So they can very easily, like, my daughter at the age of 9, she could already discriminate what is the falsehood, what she does not want to praise or she does not want to believe in, because it makes absolutely no sense in either the Indian path or the Polish path. And she's just choosing her own unique path because she's just connected to her soul more and connected to her intuition. And growing in nature, it also helps because the connection to nature just teaches us the universal laws. And being in the ambience, like in the energy field of the spiritual values, it also like makes the soul more upfront. So,
does your daughter ever have inner experiences?
Yes, both of my children do. My daughter actually has a very profound psychic experience. She has these prophetic dreams. In the dreams, there is an oracle that comes and speaks to her, and she tells her stories from the past. She basically puts like a hologram in front of her, just like in the futuristic movies, and she just shows her visions of the future, and visions that are positive. And that gives me so much of hope, because she speaks that 3 generations from now the world will be united. And when you ask me about Orville, what's the future of Orville, I see that, that's our future. But it's, as she says, it's 3 generations from now. Well, it's unclear whether it's 3 new generations or 3 lifetimes. It's like, it's up to us to interpret it. But she says that we will be united by language, so we'll be speaking same language. It will be more easy to understand one another, and we will live in a very integrated way with nature. So our homes will be covered with nature, and we'll be more connected to animals, and we will drop our egos. There's just so much of information that comes from that source. And I really wish that we could let those children speak more, and that we can start collectively visualizing that future rather than the disastrous one. And how do we really take actions towards that future?
Do all the children you've met, ever speak of God or use the term divine or not?
My son, my 7-year-old, when he was 5, he started to speak to me. Well, I needed to be a little bit curious and inquisitive, so I asked him, Soham, before you had this body, where were you? And he says, well, I was in the school of kindness. I said, tell me more. So he says that in the school of kindness, we were all together with all the gods. He remembers Jesus and Krishna very well. These were like the closest. And he says we were all learning and teaching. And he says everybody had something to learn and everybody had something to share. So beautiful.
When he was 5.
When he was 5. And then he said, but Mama, I'm slowly forgetting.
The past.
Forgetting that past, that thread. So I keep reminding him, I really want to cultivate. And Patty, she keeps having these dreams. They keep coming and going, the inner experiences. I feel both of them, because maybe they know that the world is not necessarily the safest place to share these experiences with. I don't think they share these experiences with their friends. They allow me to share these interesting informations with people that they trust, with adults that they trust, but they don't feel very confident speaking out loud.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Tell me a little more about what you're doing now with, are there people in Oroville who are meeting with you on this union of harmony and peace?
So right now I'm very much in the research phase, but also I find I share this information with people near to me who are receptive, because it takes a lot of receptivity and readiness to be ready to receive this knowledge. So there are few people that I work with here in Oroville itself, but I find it's really important to also use the social media in a very wise way, because there is a lot of falsehood on social media. So therefore, every contribution of something really profound and something true is an important contribution. So I'm learning how to show up and how to speak up in front of the camera, which is a growing edge for me. But the more I do it, the more comfortable I feel, and creating the communities basically. So I think what I really mastered in Oroville is creating safe relationships and creating communities, because what I understood, it takes the critical mass of people that are awakened to take a leap and to make a transformation. And we don't need 100% of the people to be awake. We just need, they say 100 monkeys, right? So maybe you know more. What is that critical mass in the percentage? But whatever it is, I know that I have to do it. And this is my path, and this is my purpose. This is the mission that has been given to my soul. And I'll just keep following my intuition and listening to the voice that, thanks to actually being in Oroville and meditating, becomes louder and louder. And every day guides me how to create these networks of light workers and people who want to bring this message more to the world. I feel so blessed. The other day, an old friend of mine with whom I was working as a model, I spent 20 years of my life modeling, which actually paid.
I remember you had told me. Yeah.
Yes, it paid for my travels. You know, I could travel anywhere in this world effortlessly, because my modeling was just covering all the expenses and more. And I had this pleasure of experiencing so many cultures and learning so much about the diversity of humanity. So it was such a gift.
Tell us of some of the places where you lived?
Yes, starting from Europe, I had a sense that there was a lot of wisdom around the Mediterranean countries. So I really wanted to go to Greece, to Italy, to Spain, to all the Egypt was also a very big one. So I covered all of these, plus the neighboring countries around Poland, so Germany, Austria. And then I did not find what I was looking for, that, deep, soulful kind of teaching. So I was intuitively called towards the East, Asia. And the first country I decided to go was Japan. And that's very, very beautiful, like very, very unique. And I received a lot of blessings and support. I lived with a beautiful Japanese couple who just showed me the secrets of the culture and dressed me in a kimono and, taught me how to cook Japanese food with so much of love. So I felt blessed, to have these experiences. And then I chose to be in Hong Kong, which was a very beautiful metropolitan city. So it was such a beautiful, integrated, wonderful city, one of my favorite cities in the world, because it integrates the nature and the Buddhist monasteries and the mountains and beautiful coastline with the modern lifestyle, very
And with
well.
nature also.
So much of
So
nature,
much of nature,
beautiful
yes.
nature, yes, so well preserved and integrated.
And then after Hong
So
Kong,
from there, I was traveling a little bit to China, and then the two friends that I met in Hong Kong, they told me about the trip that they had planned for India. So they asked me, would you like to join us for that India trip? And I said, I was waiting for this invitation for so many years. I never had the courage to actually, as a single woman, travel to India. I just did not feel safe enough to, be so exposed from the movies I've seen. It didn't feel safe. So we traveled together, and they had organized very safe homestays with the families that they knew or families of their friends from Hong Kong. So it was really, really well organized. And the first moment actually we arrived at the airport of Bombay, I smelled the incense that were burning there, and I felt home. And it was like this soul recognition that I know the smell so well. So that was my invisible thread with India, and from that moment I decided I want to live here. I really have something really important to learn here and to deepen here. And as I spent 20 years here right now, a lot has unfolded, like a lot of spiritual growth has happened, lots of reconnection to my soul, but also resolution, personally, I feel, of my past lives that were needing some attention and healing. So just a lot of beautiful, multi-faceted growthful experiences.
have you experienced any of your past lives?
Many of my past lives have been revealed to me in the past 5 years that have been the most difficult, the most painful years, because I have been separating with the father of my children, and that has been very, very painful on the soul level and the human level. And interestingly enough, at least 5 of my past lives have been revealed, but unfortunately, those revelations were the painful ones. Oh. Like those deaths when I was prosecuted, these were the first ones that showed up. The brutal ones, like one of them, I was killed for love because I decided to love someone that was not approved by my family. So it really felt like my brother actually stabbed me. And then in the very, very old life was when I was stoned to death. And it was almost like the times of the Jesus. I could really look around and I could feel everyone was wearing, the very simple clothes like the Jesus times. And I was there in the middle, people were just throwing stones. And there was one person I had the eye contact with. And that person said, like, I'm with you. It's okay, it's okay. And I could just see myself like bleeding to death in the puddle of blood. So, yeah. And then burning on the stake. So that was another prosecution. So the past few years for me has been really like sitting with these old wounds and healing them, and holding myself through the pain of the soul that has gone through so much of suffering, and just loving myself through that pain, just continuously repeating to myself, it's okay, you're safe now you're safe. Now this is past, and now it's safe to be here now. This won't repeat any longer. But the soul almost remembered, and the nervous system almost felt like this can happen again. I'm not safe. But I just made sure that actually I do ask for support. I take a lot of therapy. I experience a lot of safe touch in those moments. Some of these revelations actually happen in the massage sessions or healing sessions, sound healing session. So I felt I was held, I felt like I was in the arms of the beloved in different forms. There were different people that were holding me through these experiences, but I felt like, the soul was healing, the nervous system was healing, and just going back to building the new memories of safety in this body. So I feel like now the worst is gone. Now, I just feel so much more reassured and secured. And I just needed to really commit myself, and especially past 1 year, to really securing my nervous system and, working through feeling safe in the body.
No more need to travel.
Not so much of need to travel. There's sometimes calling for going out and integration, because I feel like, over here in Oroville, we have a very focused laboratory, so we go very deep into certain topics, but simultaneously the world is really expanding, and, world is a laboratory. So I do find very helpful to be connected to people all over the world and see, like, where is the alignment, especially in my field of evolution and exploration, relational, and the spiritual aspects of marriage, where there are resources that I can integrate and bring in, and also the beautiful people who are willing to support me, like the friend of mine from my modeling times. That was the thread I was on before. She just reached out a few days ago, and she said, I would love to come and spend some time with you in Oroville and help you to record the videos that, if you have anything. And I said, I've been waiting for someone to support me with the video recording for months. I've been like energetically calling, the support. And this friend, she loves me so deeply. She said, I will gladly do it for you. Just to be together and to spend quality time together. And I'm just really looking forward to that, soulful collaboration, because my friend is also a light worker. She's also like, doing lots of projects to uplift the consciousness. And like, the special thing I think about Oroville is that it just magnetizes these really amazing souls. So I have a lot of visiting soul brothers and sisters who come here for a few months, and they do this intense work with me, like just really resourcing each other and helping each other to heal, so we can really, because for me, healing is all about just removing these layers that are holding us back from being connected to the source and being in this oneness consciousness, and being really at peace with our humanity, so our divinity can really shine through us. So that's really special, and one of my favorite spiritual paths right now that I'm learning and sharing with already is the Dances of Universal Peace. And I work with few mentors that come at least twice a year to India, and often to Oroville, because again, Oroville is like this beautiful place for them to just come and share, to pulse, and to share this knowledge abundantly with the whole world, because the whole world comes here to study too. So for me, the Dances of Universal Peace, they really integrate the spiritual practices of the whole world so beautifully, because different names of the God, essentially, they all speak about the same. It all talks about oneness. It all talks about love, It all comes to the connection and seeing the divine in each other. But actually, what I have been reading in the scriptures, reading and learning through studying yoga as a theory, through dances, I'm able to practice. Because when the soul family gathers and we dance together, a lot of movements, lots of the dances are focused on folding the hands and bowing to one another and seeing, but really seeing the divine in one another. So I feel like I'm dancing with God again and again, when these sacred moments happen. I'm going for another camp the end of this month, and I'm so excited because I'm just going to meet God.
Where are they?
The camp, this camp is happening in Bangalore.
Oh.
Outskirts of Bangalore in some beautiful place, but there will be more in Oroville in March. My mentor comes in March here, so.
Is your friend still here with you?
My friend, which one?
Who you spoke about would video.
Would film. She will come next month.
Next month?
Yeah, she's arriving for a month. Yes, I would love to invite her to your own choir and introduce you to her. She's a fantastic
Of course, the
filmmaker.
own choir is exactly what you're speaking
Yes.
of also.
Yes,
to
yes.
bring that force down of harmony and peace
Yes.
and oneness.
Yes.
And open each soul to do away with the veils that are hiding us.
I feel personally that music is one of the most divine and effortless tools for unity. Music and dance, and now I'm actually observing that there are very beautiful evolved spiritual paths that are not necessarily called spiritual paths, but I see them when I practice them. I see them as path of deep spiritual practices, which are very new and they are evolving. One of them is contact dance, and it has been very organically coming to life and being channeled. And what happens in that practice is that it's just a very intuitive movement. It's allowing the body to lead and to be led, and it happens in the presence of the other. So 2, 3, 5 people can dance together by being fully present with themselves and fully authentic and connected to themselves, and yet being present and connected to the other. So this is, for me, another way of how can I be fully embodying my divinity and honoring yours? How can I be in connection to myself and to you at the same time, honoring and respecting me and you simultaneously? And then there is another practice that I adore, which is acro yoga, which is the yoga as we know it is the asanas that one practices alone. But from that, what came to life probably a few decades ago was the integration of being really fit in the body. So it's almost like an advanced version of sadhana, because I'm not just connected to myself. I already have a fit body. I already have, mastered the self-connection. Now I'm going to take that connection and work together with a partner to create absolute magic and glory of what this human body can do. Because I have so much of respect for human bodies. I feel like, every body is such a gift. And you see it when you watch children. You get to remember as an adult, I get to remember as an adult how amazed and how excited the child is about having this body, right? Wow! When I saw my babies, growing, for them to be able to crawl is so incredible, and to be able to sit and take the first steps is just so much of excitement about doing the progress. There's so much of progress done in the first months and years of the life, and that's so inspiring. And if every human just keeps the momentum of that progress and that sincerity for the progress in the body, in the soul, in all the integral aspects of our being, wow, it will be amazing.
Keep striving towards perfection.
Yes, yes. So I feel so blessed that, so many humans somehow are contributing to this collective evolution with different creative arts, like dance, like music, like choir, like yourself, and that it's just so magnificent to keep sharing and like waking this memory, because we all remember how it was to be living in a unity, but to be alive in a unity, having these human bodies, it's a little bit complicated, because the whole romance has really confused, the integrity of touch and integrity of connection. So a lot has happened there, and the human desire has overtaken and has gone into the shadow and has been misused in big time. So to kind of really embody the divine in this body, and to be able to share that divinity with others with a deep sense of integrity and respect, and yet to be able to transmit love in every relationship in a different way, because the way I'm going to express love to my children will be very unique. I will touch them with love, I will massage them, my connection with them will be very pure. The way I will connect to my friend maybe will be just through holding hand and gifting them a massage on their birthdays, like that's, or maybe dancing together. That's how embodied it can get. But if I'm with my lover, I'll be taking it to the next level of intimacy. So it's just so fascinating, how we can share love with different people in different ways. And it's just beautiful to have this form and this body and be able to share the love in a way that is respectful, and the way that allows our soul to actually express itself fully. Because I think the biggest pain of human life is not to be able to share love.
True. Well, it's been wonderful.
Thank you.
And
I hope
thank
so.
you, Prem.
Thank you, Narad.